Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I just want to let you know, I don't plan my videos. Everything I do is divinely guided. So I might hop on here and think I know what we're going to talk about today. Not usually. But that's where we're moving. That's where we're supposed to be, is you follow your guidance, your divine guidance. And that's where you learn to step out of your ego and you control your ego instead of letting your ego control you. Because if I allowed my ego to control me, and what I mean by that, if I had a thought, for instance, the other day when I said, okay, well, what am I going to talk about today? I mean, I always ask, what message should I give you guys today? And I heard, in my way of hearing, Jesus said, let me speak today. And I said, okay. If I was allowing my ego to control me, it would go into, what do you mean Jesus is going to talk? You don't even know what he's going to say. How do you know it's going to work? How do you know these people aren't going to think you're crazy? Maybe they will think you're crazy. And I would have probably not done the video because I would have talked myself out of it. How many things do you talk yourself out of when you've had a hunch, a thought to do something, and it might bring you, it's what you want to do, but there's a little bit of a fear of the unknown, a little bit of a fear because you might not have ever done it before. The first channeling I did on here, the first live, I've never done that before. But I trust the process. And I know, first of all, I'm recording this, right? So when I went back to watch it, if there was anything in there that was remotely not of love, all I have to do is delete the video. I don't have to post it. But I trust the process. In the event that, Jesus says, I would like to speak today. Okay. And I know that it comes from a loving place. And it's loving guidance that we need at this moment. So, and it's not just channeling, it's everything we do. Even when things happen, your ego goes into what it knows from the past because that's all it knows. So if you've had a situation where, I don't know, I can't even think of a situation, but when you have a situation that comes up, somebody says something to trigger you, somebody says something, okay, thank you. My husband and I are having a conversation, and he makes a comment, and my initial thought is, this type of comment has been made before. It led to this type of experience, which sucked. I ended up in an argument. We ended up fighting, whether it be with him or somebody in my past. That is allowing and then therefore you go into immediate defense, immediate anger, because you know what's coming. When you control your ego, you step back and you say, you know what, just let it go. Because in every moment, you have a choice. Their comment or their whatever happens, you have a choice on how you respond to it. That is you controlling your ego. Now, from a place of love, I'm not saying allow somebody to abuse you, speak badly to you, criticize you. No, you choose to not have that in your existence. But if you're having a conversation with somebody and they say something that triggers you, let your triggers be your guides, because it's probably something you need to work on yourself. And that's usually what happens. Now, I'm not saying my husband, I mean, we're all human. I'm not saying he doesn't say something that doesn't set well with me. But I usually look at it before I jump to conclusions, before I jump to immediately taking him out at the knees, because the old me would have been on the immediate defense, would have been on the immediate, no. And my initial response is to do that because that's how I've been programmed. That's how I've been geared. The difference is to grab a hold of that person, you, that part of you, and reel them back in and say, let's look at this situation from a place of love. Try to see the other person's point of view. Try to see the situation. And that is controlling your ego, because it's not allowing your ego to say, okay, we've had this situation before. This is the typical outcome, so this is what's going to happen again, so prepare yourself. No. Because when you control your ego, you can diffuse a situation and it doesn't get to that point. And again, I've had this with my husband. I mean, he's the person that is here every day. So he might say something that would have before sent me over the edge and I would have just gone off like a rocket. And because he has said things like that, not intentionally to piss me off, but I pull back and say, you're drawing from a past situation that was not even him. It was somebody else. You're drawing from a past situation where you two were in a different headspace. It's a different situation. It's a different scenario. And as soon as you control your ego, you can diffuse the situation. Because how many times do you get in an argument, you get pissed, the other person then gets pissed, which makes you even angrier, and it just escalates, and then you start yelling, and then the next person starts yelling, or they yell and then you yell. That's allowing your ego to control you. Even with things like YouTube, what do you feel called to do? Do you feel called to do a YouTube channel? Not everybody is meant to do a YouTube channel. Do you feel called to start your own business? Do you feel called to write songs or play an instrument or sing or bake? What brings you joy? What is your passion? Because this is the time you not stepping into that is allowing your ego to control you, because your ego is sitting there saying, oh, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't do this. Well, what if you fail? What if you fall flat on your face? What if you lose everything you own? Your ego will what if you to death, therefore killing your dreams. So if you have a thought, a desire, a passion, control your ego. Now, not everybody's like me and just jumps off the cliff knowing that the parachute behind you is going to open. If I feel called to do it, I just jump. Because I know I wouldn't have the desire if it wasn't meant to be. Not everybody is like that. I'm not saying just jump off the cliff without a parachute. But just have a conversation with your ego. You can have it out loud. You can have it in your head. It doesn't matter. Just have this conversation. When that naysayer comes up, when that past experience comes up. How many times did Ben Franklin try to invent the light bulb before it happened? How many times did whoever famous, they didn't do it right out of the box. Sometimes you learn. It's a process. But follow your passion. And that is controlling your ego. Again, nobody says you have to, if you feel called to do a YouTube channel, do a YouTube channel. What's it going to hurt? You name it, you can find it on YouTube. But don't go into, well, everybody else has already done this. How many people talk about ascension? I'm still here talking, helping you guys, because it's my energy behind it. It's my information behind it. Not everybody has the same information. If you want to write a song, good Lord, how many songwriters are out there? Who cares? It doesn't have your energy behind it. It doesn't have your passion behind it. If you feel like baking, when I opened my bakery, good God, there were a ton of bakeries. If I let my ego step in and say, Pam, why are you doing this? You have a job with the sheriff's office. You're already making decent money. Why do you want to start baking? Starting from scratch, because you have no customer base at the moment. There are a ton of bakers out there. You know, what makes you think you're going to make a living? What makes you think you're good enough to do this? All of that is your ego not knowing. It's there to protect you. But I enjoyed baking because I was good at it. But then I found the decorating part, creating the 3D artwork, was where I truly, truly stepped into my passion. That's where I had, it was amazing. And yes, I left the sheriff's office, I started baking. And the universe blessed me like I can't even tell you. I didn't get caught up in, oh my God, how am I going to make this work? How many customers do I have to pay my bills? No, I didn't care. because I knew if it was meant to be, it would just work. And it did. So, and that's just one example where allowing your ego to control you, I'd have never opened my bakery. Because common sense, or not common sense, 3D thought logic would have been, you're crazy. What are you doing? Controlling your ego says, you know what? Let me try. Let me take a whack at it. What have I got to lose? You know, now my husband did at the time told me, he said, why don't you start off baking at home to make sure you really truly want to do this before we go open a shop? So I did. I baked at home for a while. And the shop didn't appear as soon as I wanted to go open a shop. It took a few months, probably more than a few months. But when I found the shop, it was perfect. Everything just fell into place. So use your guidance. I could have tried to force a situation to open a shop. Don't force anything. Follow your heart. Everything happens for a reason. You know, you might be in a relationship and you're like, oh, I don't want this to end. And then next thing you know, you're single and you're like, what the heck happened? Years later, you look back and you go, oh my God, I didn't know they were cheating on me. Or I didn't know they were that kind of person. Or you find somebody better and you're like, thank you, God. You get fired. You know, I've left jobs because I had one, it was like, okay, because I do what I want. Yeah, that doesn't go well in corporate America. But they were like, okay, we've warned you, we've given you all this. I mean, this was years and years ago. And I said, you know what? I quit. I've had a couple of them. They gave me an ultimatum, do this or my part-time job. And I'm like, I like my part-time job. I'm helping people with my part-time job. Thank you. Have a nice day. I'll see you later. And I leave a full-time job. It just works. When you follow your passion, because if I had gotten stuck in, oh my God, I just got fired, not really fired, but oh my God, I just lost my job. I don't have a steady income. What am I going to do? How am I going to support my daughter? No, I just roll with it. Because again, everything happens for a reason. So I hope there are so many scenarios. I can't explain all of them to you. So whatever you're going through, if you feel called to do something, now is the time to do it. Control your ego. Stop letting your ego control you. Stop letting your ego live your life. Or stop living your life by your ego, which only knows what it knows. It won't know what opening your own business is like until you do it. It won't know what writing a song and how it works out until you do it. It's like trying to meditate. And your ego, the first while, your mind will not shut up because your ego has no clue what you're doing. And it's there to protect you. You're stepping into a whole new realm. You're doing something completely different that your ego has no clue about because you haven't done it. You meditate a few times and you quiet your mind. And after a while, your ego goes, okay, I understand what we're doing here. This is pretty cool. It actually helps you to do this. So now I'll support you and I'll be quiet. Before that, your ego has no idea. So it's there to protect you. That's why it won't stop the monkey mind. It won't stop talking. Because it's a scary place to go when you quiet your mind. The only thing scary about it is your ego doesn't know what's going on. So these are all, like I said, when I jump on here to do a video, most of the time I have no clue what I'm going to talk about. And usually, more times than not, a divine message will come through in there somewhere. And it's like, wow, never thought about that, or I didn't know that was the message for today. So anyway, I love you guys. I want you to succeed. I want the best for you. Step out of your comfort zone. Control your ego. Stop letting your ego control you. And do your don't work. It's not work. Enjoy your passion, whatever that is. It could be something that nobody's even heard of before. Go for it. How do new things get invented? Because somebody took a chance. Somebody was like, let me see how this works. So I hope you have an amazing day. If you got anything out of this, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, because I'm telling you, most of my videos are divinely guided because I don't listen to my ego. I control my ego. When Jesus says, I would like to speak today, okay, I don't question it. When I feel guided to give you a message, okay, that's what I do. Because somebody needs to hear it. So when you share my messages, more people that need to hear it. When you like my videos, when you subscribe to the channel, it helps the algorithm. So more people hear this. So have an amazing day. I love you guys. I send you many blessings. If you have a question, if you want to know how this works, just ask me. I'll be glad to tell you. There are no secrets with me. I am a wide open book. So anyway, I love you and we will talk soon.